In this video, we're going to cover the password settings inside WishList Member. So again, WishList Member, advanced options, and then password. So the first one you'll see here is minimum password length. So this is the minimum length that a password must be when someone registers for your membership site. So the default is set to 8. You probably don't want to go too much shorter than that. That's kind of a sort of a minimum. Of course, you can turn it up to whatever you prefer and so forth. And then when you do, just hit apply. But that's a pretty self-explanatory option there. One thing here you'll see it says the WLM min pass length merge code can be added to our page or post using the blue WishList member code insert button found in the edit section of all posts and pages. So the WishList member shortcode inserter that you'll find on the edit screen. If you're in Gutenberg, it'll be in the classic block. If you're using the classic editor, it'll just be right there in the classic editor. But if you want to display the minimum password length, you can use this shortcode WLM_min_pass length, or again, use the shortcode inserter. Next is require strong passwords. So if you turn this on, then WishList member require passwords to have at least one lowercase letter, one uppercase letter, and one number and one special character. So just makes them enter a stronger password if you turn that on, and they will have some hints on the registration form to tell them whether they've actually met the requirement or not. Next is enable password hinting. So if this setting is enabled, users will be able to enter a password hint during the registration process. They will also have an option to update their password hint in their user profile, and then they will also, after a login failed attempt, it'll display the password hint, and they can also have that password hint emailed to them using on the lost password page. So it essentially gives them several options. When they register, they can set a password hint, and then later on, there's several different options depending on scenarios for them to be actually be able to see that hint, so they can be reminded of what their password is. So if you want to enable that, just go ahead and click the setting here. And when you do, then you'll see this edit screen, and this will allow you to edit the email that you want to have sent if they request that email. And you can see short codes down here. The big one here is this short code or this merge code called password hint. So that's the one that's actually going to contain the hint, their particular individual hint. Okay. Next is allow WishList member to handle the password reset. So as you see here, if this is turned on, WishList member will handle the WordPress password reset. So if someone clicks the lost password link and they have that email sent, WishList member will actually handle that. The big thing here is just being able to edit that email. So by default, the WordPress email for lost password, there's nowhere for you to edit that. There's no setting for that. So if you turn this on, this will now allow you to edit that email. So that's the big thing when it comes to this option. And then down here, enable passwords in administrator emails. So by default, this is turned on. You'll notice when we turn this on, you're going to get a message here that says, by enabling this feature, I understand I'm putting my members' passwords at risk by having them sent via email. I accept the risk, etc. So what happens here is when someone registers to your membership site, you get an admin notification. If you leave it turned on, you'll get an admin notification saying, hey, so-and-so registered to your membership site. By default, the password that gets sent in that email, we just sort of star it out, right? And the reason we do that is a security thing for their particular password. If it gets sent to you in email, there's the possibility that you could have this archive of emails in your email account that if your email got hacked, someone else's password could be at risk. And they may use that password for their banking or other important things. And so it's just sort of a security feature to keep you from having that liability sort of put on your shoulders. Now, if for some reason you need those passwords, maybe you're manually creating an account in some other system or something along those lines, and you need to have those passwords, you can enable this. You just have to understand the risk that's involved with that. And so you can do that. What I would recommend is if you do that, whenever you get those if you're using to create an account or for some other reason, that when you get the email with the password and you put it in the other system or do whatever you need to do with it, make sure and permanently delete those emails from your email account so that you don't have this large archive of hundreds or thousands of users and all of their passwords and so forth that can become sort of a liability for you. So that would be my recommendation. But of course, as I said, by default, this is off and you're not going to see their passwords in their emails. And so if you just leave that, then you don't have to worry about it. All right, so those are the password options inside of WishList Member.